Football is love. Football is hate. Football is passion. Football is pride. Football is pain. Football is disappointment. Football is ecstasy. Football is agony. Football is religion. Football is rivalry. On the south coast, English football has one of its fiercest rivalries, dating back to the 60s, Portsmouth FC and Southampton FC. 49-year-old John Anthony Portsmouth Football Club Westwood is Portsmouth's biggest and most famous fan. Monday to Friday, excluding the occasional Tuesday, John is a mild-mannered antiquarian book dealer, but come the weekend he becomes a completely different person.
And I've got the tranquil, calm influence of the shop during the week, and then on Saturdays I turn into a raving lunatic. But it's great to have both sides, and it complements each other. And even actually in the bookshop, because people think, oh, books can't be that passionate, but I'm really passionate about my books. I love the business my dad set up. I want to keep his legacy going, and there is a passion amongst booksellers, but it's a quiet passion. So you get two different sorts of passion. It's great. But I'll never forget, years ago, even when it used to kick off, I used to have mates, they wouldn't say boo to the goose, it'd be Mill, Chelsea, they wouldn't get involved in the fights. And then it would come to like Scum, and then you'd think, okay, now where are they? No, where are Scum? And you've got to go for a fight. And I would say, but you don't fight anyway, no, but Scum. Got to punch one, and I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I love Portsmouth. I changed my name by Depot in 1989. Because my passion for the club, I just love the club. I mean, everything about me, and as you can see, my flat, everything I do has to have Portsmouth in it. Even when I'm at work, I have to have Pompey on me, etc., etc. And it was just an extension of my passion, and I thought to include it in my life, because it is my life, so include it in my name. But it's just a way of life.
Yeah.
The same with the tattoos, the name change, everything. It's just, I love the club so much. It's just my way of showing it.
Yeah.
I know everyone shows their passion in different ways. Doesn't make me any more passionate than anyone else. But it's just my way of doing it. Some people are statisticians, some people.
Oh, that's fantastic.
These bloody legs, and it's just a way of life. The hatred between Pompey and Scum. I mean, I love the rivalry. I don't like the violent side of it. I never have done. I've received loads of death threats from Southampton fans. Yeah, they're going to burn the shop, rape me mum, kill me kids, all that sort of stuff. They're going to come up and slit me throat and blah blah blah. I mean, they know where the shop is and all that. So it's been going on for years. It did get to me at one time, but I thought only cowards do that sort of thing. People were asking me what would I have done if Pompey got out of business. I couldn't answer it because I could never envisage not having a Pompey to watch, and it just, the thought of it is, can't comprehend it. I don't know what I'd have done. Obviously I'd have had to carry on living because I've got my kids and family and all that sort of stuff, but it would have been a nightmare. There's nothing else like it. I mean, it's the greatest sport in the world. It's the #1 sport. It's a simple sport. You can go to football and you can get High Court judges, MPs sitting next to dustbin men or whatever, but when they're there, they're just focused on that game. But there has been a few lads in the past, now who've grown up and said that it was because of me that they started supporting the club, because they liked that passion and they thought it was great and they wanted to join in.
Just 16.2 miles down the road in Southampton, 81-year-old Herbert Taylor is just as passionate and committed about his club, despite his age.
On match days, I work as a tour guide for the hospitality groups, the club sponsors and match sponsors. I'm in a uniform, so I just sit there and I'm totally different to John, who's there with his bell and his band and all his mates around him. And I mean, there's a big age difference. And we show our passion in different ways. Yeah, we're totally different characters, but in our own way, we're both passionate. I mean, I just absolutely, I suppose if I bleed red and white stripes, he he's got blue blood in him. He'd say that's royal blood, I suppose. But that started with John Portsmouth Football Club, Westwood, having his portrait in all his glory and his Portsmouth shirt and his big chef's hat, and that was hung in as a work of art in the Southampton City Art Gallery. Apparently some Saints fans had been in there and had seen it and said, well, what is the Portsmouth most famous fan doing in our art gallery? Haven't we got a famous fan that we could sort of compete with? I was nominated, although there's no comparison between me and John, but people thought that John typified the Portsmouth Football Club, whereas Southampton are sort of probably a little bit more a genteel football club, and they thought, well, we'll have a gentleman as our fan to be painted. And at the end of every home game, even if it's an evening game, I will stay up sometimes early hours in the morning, and I will write a fan's eye view of the game I've just watched. And that goes out all over the world. And behind my back, people all over the world were emailing in and nominating me. The football club got involved, and they seemed to think it was something very unusual for, at that time I was 79 years of age, and I was taking stadium tours, so the football club got involved. So all these nominations, and of course the nomination came out and I got the award. Well over 60 years of my life I've been going to the Dow, hardly missing any games, and it's just been part of my life. But I really didn't want to leave the Dow, so I hated it. And the last match, I was almost in tears. I couldn't believe that this had gone. As I started getting around and moving around and taking tours, I suddenly realised what a wonderful stadium St Mary's is, and how it is so much better in a crowd of 32,000 than it was in 15,000 of the old Dow. So. If we'd gone out of business, it would have hurt, and I would just probably lived on my memories. The day I can't go and watch my football team will be a sad day. The day I've got to stop taking tours will be a sad day. The football club have been brilliant to me. Now Southampton is now probably even bigger part of my life than it was when I was a kid. And I mean, the reason I support Southampton was born and bred in Southampton. All my mates were Southampton fans, and it was our city, and no matter whether we were down in the old third division or eventually in the first division, they're our team, and we support them.
Local historian and Southampton fan David Jewson has written a book about the history of the two clubs, Saints v Pompey, a history of unrelenting rivalry.
It wasn't my idea to do the book, but I work for a setup called Hagiology Publishing, or I did then, and somebody else started the book and couldn't carry on with it, and it was suggested by the other members of Hagiology that I do it, because I've already done one book on the history of the Dell, and I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. And I think I might have found 2 games that weren't on either of those records, probably just about 1 actually. But I tried to get 2 reports on every game to get some sort of balance. The South Coast Union men's story is rubbish. I mean, I've never been able to establish any strike being broken by blacklegs from Southampton. So, yeah, I'd be very surprised if there's any grounding to that story at all. Somebody made it up. It's malicious gossip, and people love it.
Former Portsmouth fan favourite Linvoy Primus has played in the South Coast Derby for Portsmouth and gives his opinion on the Pompey fans.
I think Portsmouth fans are, and I'm not saying this because, I play for Pompey, I think they are the best fans. The thing that makes the Pompey fans unique is that no matter how talented you are or not, if you give everything you can for that team, for their team, then they'll back you 100%. And they're loyal, and they demand. There is a demand that they put on the players, but they will suffer anything as long as 100% is given. So I think fans, are very dedicated in terms of coming to games and going away to games and giving up a lot of their lives to follow that team. So I think that's in a way it can be an obsession, but I think that's passion as well. I think there'll always be a core of people that will not want to be friends. I think there'll be more and more people turning to this, that it's a rivalry, but it's not going to go further than that. It's, there's not going to be a hatred there, but I think there'll always be a core who will have that hatred for whatever reason.
BBC Solent sports reporter and commentator Lawrence Herdman has commentated on a number of Portsmouth and Southampton games over the last decade and has seen the rivalry firsthand.
Looking back to Portsmouth-Southampton games specifically, the one I really remember, I was in the Navy in '84 when Portsmouth played Southampton at Fratton Park in the FA Cup 4th round, 36,000 there, and that's the first time I really got a sense of how big this rivalry was and the real sort of, we don't like each other sort of thing. And it wasn't helped by Southampton scoring a last-minute injury time winner through Steve Moran at the Milton end. And
Davis was saying that they could have sold another 10 or 15,000 tickets for this cup tie. The demand on the south coast has been tremendous. The 36,000 limit imposed.
I first did my initial commentary, I think it was 2001-2 season when Graham Ricks was in charge. My very first commentary was Crewe against Portsmouth at Gresty Road, and I think Pompey won 1-0. I think Crouch scored in that game. They've got some of the best supporters in the land without any doubt, and that's nothing against Southampton. So I completely understand the rivalry. I don't condone the minority that can get involved in the nastiness and the sort of the fighting, the ugly chanting, etc.
Today, John and Herbie have agreed to meet at John's Bookshop in Petersfield to discuss their passion, pride, rivalries, and of course, football.
And football is the language, and it can have a big impact on people's lives, especially young.
Yeah. That's why, like I was saying, I wanted to meet you because I love your passion. I think that if we were to take passion and support out of the game, I wouldn't want to see a game with all home supporters. I just wouldn't go. You need that banter. I'm sure every Pompey fan is quite happy as long as they're above us in the league.
Exactly.
Hopefully a league above, and that's it. And that they win every time they play us. And that's how I feel.
You're singing off the same hymn sheet as me.
Yeah.
I love the rivalry, I love the banner. If you didn't, like you say, if you didn't have opposing fans in the ground, it'd be sterile. It'd be sterile. The whole point of football and what gets the team to play better is that atmosphere, it is that passion behind it. It brings them out of themselves. Yeah. A lot of it gets hyped up by the media.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they want the disorder. They want, because it sells papers.
And the same with this bubble. I reckon that is. There's no way I will ever be able to go there ever again to Fratton Park to see a game, because at my age, I can't get in a bus and sort of be held back, and that. I need to go to the toilet, for a start, and I need, and I couldn't. And then again, you go with the away fans, you've virtually got to stand up. I can't stand up for 90 minutes anymore. So in some ways, it's killed away games.
I just don't like this bubble thing, because I just think it's against all human rights. If I'm honest.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's the way you police it. And it can be done, but to me, it's the easy option for the police. They're taking the easy option trampling over everyone's civil liberties. But the trouble with football fans, as you know, they haven't got any rights.
No.
If there's any group of people in society that haven't got any rights, it's football fans. They just seem to get trodden on by the authorities all the time. I know they haven't helped themselves in the past, but I think a lot of the authorities now are living 20 years in the past. You don't get violence in football grounds anymore.
I can't manipulate my football. It's my fix. You know.
No, I know exactly where you come from, and violence has got no part to play in football. But the media don't like it, and the media's got a lot to answer for, I think. Because they actually create the problem sometimes. They build up the animosity, they build it up before the game, and then it's... and then
that's
it all
what
gets
I've
let
often
loose.
said, you know, if only the newspapers would help to play it down a bit. If they'd like to report like the fact that you and I sat together and had a chat, you know, a sensible chat. I mean, but you see, this is not news. This is not, you know, this, if you and I had a scrap out there, but look at your size, I'm not going to. I'm not taking it. But if we'd had a fight in the car park, right, it would be news, wouldn't it?
No, exactly. But the trouble is, that you and me, we love our football, and we're proper football fans. I just... football to me, I'm a bit disillusioned with. I mean, I never stopped watching Pommy ever and ever, but I'm a bit, in ways, I fall out of love with it a bit with all the money, the corporate, the foreign ownership.
Money has killed the game, as far as I'm concerned.
The money the players get now, we've seen. It's all creamed off by the players, the managers, and the chairman, and the man in the street is people like myself. I mean, I'm completely, my personal debt is ridiculous. I'm thousands of pounds, my mum's over here, but I'm thousands of pounds in debt. And it's like, it's all because of football. I wouldn't be in debt if it weren't for football, and it's cost me lots of other things. And then you look at these people and you think, well, we're funding their lifestyle, and we're doing it because we genuinely love the club, and they're doing it just because they want to get greedy.
And then they kiss the badge, and next week they're transferred to another club.
And they're kissing that badge. Football is the language of the people. It can bring, like we were saying earlier, just brings people closer, doesn't it? It's something about football. And everyone has their teams and passions and all this sort of stuff, whether it be club or international football, but everyone is just brought together by a round ball. But it's just like when it gets you, and it's that passion, and it's to me, it's not about, football's never been about, obviously you want to win, but to me, it's more than that. It's been part of something. It's been
belonging, isn't it?
And it's an entertainment. You go to enjoy yourself on a Saturday afternoon.
And I don't yell and shout. I mean, I'm as passionate as you, but
but in a different way.
But again, I mean, I come from a different
era
anyway.
It's a passion, Herb. I'm no different from you. It's like I show it in a different way.
That's right.
And you show it in your way. And if everyone showed it in the same way, it'd be a boring way. If everyone did the same thing,
it would be very boring.
And that is the beauty of football.
I think again, there's a bit of a generation gap.
Exactly.
I mean, I think if we had a passionate fan as passionate as me, maybe the same age as you, it might be a different matter.
Show it in a different way.
We respect each other.
If I'm honest, there's so many different theories about how the word scum come about. But as far as I can remember, there was a strike in the dockyards in the 50s, 40s, 30s. I can't even remember now. And it was the Southampton Commercial Union men, as they were known. I think they broke the strike, and then since then all the Pompey dockers then used to call them the scum because of the Southampton Commercial Union men, and that obviously that got passed on to the football, and they latched onto it. And I think that's what a lot of the older generation of Pompey fans tell me as well.
From the Southampton point of view, there is no factual evidence whatsoever that strike ever took place. Anger against this animosity between the Royal Navy and the Merchant Navy, and Southampton, of course, is a Merchant Navy port. And as the Navy declined and the Merchant Navy rose, you got that angst again. And
I think a lot of it is, like you say, a lot of it is myth and that. But from what I've heard from youngsters whose fathers worked in the dockyards, because you get a lot of dockers who follow the club, there seems to be more to it than that. But like you say, the cities have always had that rivalry, not just on the football field, but with the merchant shipping and the naval port. And I think because of that rivalry, it's been taken on board by the football. And like you say, a lot of it could be myth, whatever.
They'll find another excuse if it wasn't that.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think anyone's ever called me a scummer to my face, but that's because of my age. And the fact I might have thumped them, you know.
I'm a Southampton born and bred man, and for me, there's not another city in the world like Southampton.
Benson lives in.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Love him to bits. It's been an absolute privilege.
Oh, I mean, I give the kids only I got cold. No, I mean, you know, if you want to finish up, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the happiest man in the world as long as Pompey are below us in the league. and I would imagine exactly the same.
Exactly. Well, you've taken the words right out of my mouth.